bzz, bzz, bzz. Oh, that, yeah. As soon as you add symbols, immediately pictorial consciousness becomes alive to them and they learn at a rapid pace. So don't ever think, oh, he's just pulling out of nostalgia. It's not nostalgia. It's literally an incarnation preparing what he's supposed to do on earth as a baby. And a lot of you guys are going to realize your obsession as a child, whatever it was, will line up to everything you study for the next 10 years, 20 to 30 years old. It 100% will line up. 100%. And it's not supposed to feel like spooky or mystical, or some people get dreamy and think about it too long. It's, dude, be logical, right? So those nudges you have, those impulses of I like this show, no, I like that show, no, I like the Sonic or whatever the fuck, use them. It's like when people say, Zherka, they go out to dinner with me and they're like, yo, tell me some secrets about food. And I'm like, the secret is in what you enjoy. Not like junk food and stuff. Like when people say junk, we all like junk food because it's like high sugar, salt, and fat content, right? But I'm saying like the food you enjoy. It could be junk food, but I'm not just saying like the whole fucking aisle. Anyone could do the fat ass answer. I'm saying like the food you've always liked that other people maybe don't like as much. That tells a lot about that. To know yourself is also that, right? That's why people who are more into the sugars have a different kind of energy about their day, right? And it's really interesting because the guys who like salts, that tells a lot about them too. And you can look into your impulses, and you're not supposed to run away from this stuff. You know, that's why people are so shocked when they're like, Zerka's my mentor, and I asked him, "What's my diet plan for I want to go to the next level in my mind," and then he keeps asking me what I like to eat. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna give you shit you like to eat because there's impulses in you, right? There's impulses in you that are not dull that tell you I want this. Like a lot of my students who say, I really want to go to the advanced class, but I can't give up the meat. I'm like, well, if you gave up the meat, it would be even worse for you because you have the impulse for meat. Like clearly you could wander in your thoughts. So you want to be grounded, more tied to earthly consciousness was not a bad thing. I think mastering the earthly part of your life first is fucking awesome. It's not like you're going to eat all this red meat at 55 years old anyway. It's like Albanians do that and Croatians and all those kind of guys do that. It's not good at all. Like these are mentally ill people, and anyone who thinks, "Oh, this is getting a little too vegan for me," is I guarantee you right now, and I can bet money on a little child's head. We cut his head off in a video game. It's just a joke, but I could bet money on a little child's head right now that I have ate more red meat than every single person on this call, and it reflects in the anger issues I have and the personality type I am. It completely shows in the facial feed, everything. It's all of that. Like for example, kids don't like red meat at 5 years old. Very rare. It's a rare thing actually. That's not a problem for me. I've liked meats, red meat since with the fat and all that since 2 years old, which is very rare because children start eating red meat much later in life. Have you ever babysat kids? Have you seen what they go to? So, and another thing, I think I don't recommend this because a lot of people are like, oh, be the next Zerka. You don't have the organism like mine. Every organism is different. So you could really harm yourself if you do this. If I went back in time, I don't know if I would have done this much, but I ate red meat 4 or 5 times a week for 20 years straight. And then up until maybe 21 years old, I got more chicken in there because I wanted to be leaner and avoid some of the fats. I didn't know what I was doing. I was in the beginning, you know. And then 25, and then gradually I realized, oh shit, that's not normal. That's a lot of astral forces. That's a lot of emotion with my food. That's why a lot of people are like, well, Zerka, you're so chill. But if I eat a big steak and rice dinner, I can get really aggressive fast and like really shut the fuck up, bitch. And it completely changes. And that's people are like, well, you could train yourself away from that. No, you can't. If you ate slaughtered animals, you're gonna inherit that energy, and it might look cool on podcasts. It might benefit you as a young guy to get out there. But I'm telling you right now, if you want to be a millionaire and successful and do stuff with your thinking that's alive now, your best bet is to go for what you crave, but not more of it. You should, oh, this guy eats this, so I eat that. It's like, dude, if he's craving the red meat and his, he's building his soul off that, right? Because it's all getting transmuted in your stomach, right? In your stars, in your constellations. And I'm telling you right now, go for what you like. It's like a lot of geniuses, they just like cereal. Some guys like apples in the morning, whatever. I go with your nature so you could be a millionaire. Once you're a millionaire, I can recommend you other diets. Then we can, and there'd be what? I'd change 30% of you. I'd refine you in a different way. I wouldn't change what the fuck you're already doing that much, right? Anyone who's trying to help you in life, if they change your whole life in one call, like you're doing everything different, that's a scammer. That's a scammer, dude. And I'm not talking about the rich dudes, the few rich dudes. I'm talking to everyone. Like, have you ever seen guys who comment on Twitter, just do this? That's a scammer. If anyone comments, just do this, that's like them telling you reality is static. Dude, you're a living, breathing organism that's transforming constantly, right? So people are like, yo, I want more courage. And I'm like, all I hear in my head is an 8-month process. All they hear is, how do I get it next week? And I'm like, that's like impossible to do. Do you know how many thought forms have to go into you being more courageous first? Right. And it's not just thinking, feeling, willing, which should all be seen as thought, all of them at once, right? In a different way. You shouldn't be confused about that. Like when your liver is processing thing, it's thinking. Like don't confuse that. It's just more instinctual and more bound to the body. But it is a type of thinking. And so a lot of you guys don't realize there's like water that shapes the stone is the imagery you should be running for the whole summer. The whole summer for the rest of your life, that's how you should see thinking. And damn, that discourages a lot of people. I don't want to buy from Zherka. I don't want to be around Zherka if he's going to give me like, that is a brutal answer because water shaping stone takes a fucking long time. No human, like imagine Andrew Tate talking right now. He would tell you, why don't you just fix it right now? Snap your fingers and fix it. That is satanic force talking through him. It's really evil to tell a human you can snap your fingers and transform. You change your mind in a second. It's extremely evil. The only people who relate to stuff like that are the people who are on the verge of changing. And they go, oh, I did it by listening to Tate. But he's not accounting for everyone else whose inner structure is still weak and it's slowly developing. And, once you give those guys the truth, they calm down. They develop a lot quicker because they go, oh, it's a gradual process. It's like just like a tree growing outside. That's identical to your inner world, right? That's how you should see it. And so most genius in life is going to sound like a quick fix, but genius just means a living process. Like you start seeing everything, not just your body, everything you go through in life, you start seeing it as a living, breathing thing. And as soon as you start seeing this, Andrew Tate becomes really like the people you listen to or what we see on the Twitter feed, they start to become really satanic in your head because you go, well, there's been a quick fix for the last 4 years. Like every time he drops something, it's a quick fix. And I like a quick fix if he's trolling, but it's never trolling. It's always buy this, buy that. And I'm not selling anything right now. I'm telling you that you will calm the fuck down when you realize how much time it takes. If you're older, it's gonna sting more. If you're younger, you're gonna be more humbled by that, right? But yeah, it's a living, breathing process. Now, the time does speed up when you slow down. So in your mind, you're going to be, and I'm going to go over 90% of my notes on this week's calls, thezergaofficial.com. I can't just be doing this on Twitter, but I want to tell you guys at least 5% about what I'm going to talk about. Basically, it's this maturing process of every movie you watch or every master you've ever read about or met in person, or depending on how active you are in the world, they all talk about patience, and patience is back to that water, back to shaping that stone, right? And I'm telling you guys right now, man, some of you guys are just thinking of June or summer or whatever. And it's like there's a lot of seasons, and you can develop so much in the world when you see how much time it takes to develop. When you see how much time it takes, you go, holy shit. There's seeds to everything I'm doing, right? And there's a spiritual core. There's a seed right there too. So I don't want anyone to ever think TikTok, YouTube, Twitter feed, all this stuff is satanic. because it's making someone millions of dollars and it's killing your sense of courage because you're like, oh, nothing's working. Andrew Tate's program is not working, or but whatever the fuck it is, right? This is why people say, well, how come you've only ever promoted Nick Fuentes? Is because he'll give you these kinds of answers, right? That brings, anytime he strays from the truth, he'll go back to scripture. That's how he reorients his inner structure. It's a good thing. He has his nightly prayer. This is healthy. This is what we want to see. He talks of soul continuity. He talks about planning the future, which if you've noticed, Nick is a security incarnation and I'm the opposite. I'm a freedom incarnation. So I use him to balance you guys because I can't give you guys security. I really can't. I don't even, I could get you guys, I can run you some of you guys into prison if I keep talking, right? I can get really free. And which, the most unfree people actually go to prison, you don't want to like overdose there. But yeah, that's why I balance you guys out with that. I'm like, this is great. Like the two pulls of Nick Fuentes, Zherka, you guys push out of that middle. That's a perfect grind. That's exactly what we want to see. And if anything, you guys are gonna, over 10 years become a lot more like him than me, right? Because there's a lot more stability there. The flame is, a lot more ordered. Goes to bed on time. I do that too, but I haven't done it all my life, so it's not going to show as much. You're not going to mimic as much. And I think the most beautiful thing about life is just admitting your flaws. Like it's Zerka doesn't have Zerka doesn't have anything for you guys to develop, inner security. I don't have any. I will never even talk about that stuff. And I find it extremely boring. It's not a part of what I came here to do at all. That's why it's always about freedom, right? Even for my, e- even for my, is this thing on? Yeah. Even for my, what was I saying? Even for my students, it's like, or excuse me, even for my life, I I hire, I have I have many employees. I hire people I outsource the trouble. I don't do the security aspects of my life, the accounting, the barely even touch the investing. I go to the conference calls, the meetings, but I don't give a fuck. It's I trust my people, my family, my brothers, my everyone involved, but I outsource. I give it to them because I say, hey guys, I know my strengths. In this lifetime, I don't want any mastery of security. I actually think it's like it looks cool on other people, but like the suit and tie and all that, it looks great on other people, but it looks awesome on me too. But it's you do not, you cannot force a stubborn person to drink from that, and I know what I'm counterbalancing in my life, how it's going to go, how many years I got I'm somewhere where I'm shocked at the progress. I'm like, oh, this is good. But I know that's one force I don't want to counterbalance. I'm not here I don't want to be on earth to develop any kind of sense of security, which is beautiful that I have people I trust to do that kind of stuff for me. And I've always seen as like a Drake project that, he's not going to write the lyrics and he's not going to be the voice engineer. He's just going to say it. So if you ever look at yourself like as a Drake type, yeah, you're not going to do all of the things in your life. For most people listening, you guys, as much as you guys gravitate towards me, you guys are probably going to lean towards more security than freedom, unless you've been close to getting locked up in prison, in jail, robbed, stabbed. If you've had that, then you obviously, you lean more my way. Which, by the way, the irony is that if the worst happens and you go to prison and stuff, it means you're unfree. You're ruled by impulses, right? Because you've misguided your own freedom energy in a horrible, in a horrible way. Like other streams of consciousness just fucking dominated you. Like your boss, your mafia guy, whatever the fuck you guys, the criminal boss, whatever, or some dude who hyped you up. Like, you can hype up a criminal to steal stuff for free for no money if he's hype enough, right? And that's unfree. That's an unfree soul. Well, yeah, it's like, do I see myself promoting anyone else in the next 20 years of my life? No, I think it's just going to be Zerka Clips and Nick Fuentes and you guys pushing out of that middle. And Nick is also like the newspaper for you guys, right? You get to be kind of a part of the world, unless you have a political mind. For those kind of people, I say, if you're the kind of person that can read newspaper or listen to Nick and get depressed because the world is going a certain way, clearly, and a lot of young guys just have to admit it, politics isn't for you, right? It's not, it's going to destroy you, right? That's why I always think that in the middle of Nick and Zherka is always the Clav pill. Like whatever Clav's doing, it's career and money and alive and social and girls and very 20-year-old stuff, right? And I think that's beautiful. Like that he came out of the middle of that, right? Oh, I don't know if you watch Nick, but I'm saying that would be cool if you guys could do that without the self-destructive parts of, without the Clav shadow, that all that darkness. You guys are gonna have your own problems, your own evil traits, right? Everyone has their own evil traits, so don't careful on amplifying those. And if they're amplified, that just means more to transform. It's not the worst thing in the universe if you're already there. But do I want you guys, like, why do I not follow Sneeko accounts? Is look, the guy, I've already been a homie to him, and he's not a homie to anyone else. I've supported. I said I'd support him until he gets unbanned, and then I'm free. I don't have to do shit. Right? I did that. I did everything like an angel would do. But goddamn, it's there's nothing there for my audience. That's why I unfollowed the stuff. It's like, and it's hard for me to hate the guy. It's really easy for me to troll him. Like I don't know why people think Sneeko jokes that I make is me hating on him. It's like I don't have many humans I can joke about because I haven't hung around all of them that long. When you hang around one person for a long time, you have infinite memes between you guys. I'm like, I don't want those memes to die because then all kinds of aspects of Sneeko are dead. Like we know that we're never going to see the guy because he's really like something else and has been years and his inner structure is that. And it's like something you'd forgive from far away. You wouldn't get close to it. But also, dude, that's a lot of memes that die with that. And it sucks because it's like, dude, Sneeko, if these memes hurt your feelings, what do you think you do on your stream all day? On his stream all day, he's just shitting on it. His stream is shitting on the world, everyone on earth, except Muslims, right? So, I'm not letting these memes die just because he's like, oh, Safa is a little bullying. It's called you a leaf. Like, relax. But part of me also feels bad because it's like you don't want to bully someone who's lost in life. There's nothing worse than a successful incarnation. I consider him a successful incarnation. There's nothing worse than those guys getting lost because then there's always a search for power. It's always like I need Muslims backing me up for power, and it's like, dude, you're in the YouTube game. Like, relax with the will to power. Like, relax on that, right? And so I like Nick for you guys and Zherka and nobody else. And I know some people keep fucking giving me, they're shocked. They're like, dude, you have a lot more friends, Zherka. How come you're not promoting them? And it's like, because I see them as very stupid cosmically, like not in the business world, but long term, right? Like a lot of people are like, well, if you focus on maximizing all of our incarnation right now, does that mean that you're fucking us up for future ones? And it's like, no, it's the opposite. I'm doing everything I can to keep the future more neutral for you guys, and you guys get to color that in yourselves however you want with your mistakes. But if I promoted some of my other buddies, I mean, you can just like look in their face to see if a human is free or unfree. You can look and you know what I mean? You can look to see if someone's free or unfree. So, socially, these are all my friends, but I want Nick to rub off on you guys the most. And when it's not that side of the cogwheel, you guys are in the middle of it. On the other side of the cogwheel, the right and the left, or the left and right, whatever, however you want to see it, us, the freedom and security will be me. And that keeps you safe. Because that Nick energy, when you guys are like, oh, I'm becoming too much like Zherka, I better suit and tie, I better, button down and be a lot more orderly. That's going to keep you guys a lot more safe. That's why I want the feed like that and just keep hammering it in you guys' head. And I know I said around the Jack Neal podcast that I'm coming back for at least, if I'm not going to have a consistent podcast, I'm at least going to keep going to warehouses and garages and keep pushing out content. And I was supposed to do something with Steiny this week on with Dean Withers and Steiny, Zherka versus Dean Withers. I try to give you guys that, and I think he backed out. Well, I don't want to make up a lie. Maybe he didn't. Maybe just Steiny's bullshitting. Maybe he's busy, right? And in a weird way, I like that kid, Dean Withers. Like a lot of people think these super leftist types of guys that traumatize me. You know, they get me fired from jobs and stuff. A lot of people think that I'd still be holding like a massive grudge. It's hard when you're good in life. When you're not good, you fucking hate that little face. You know that's fair. I mean, I don't know how fair that is, but it definitely hurts. But I think I'll just laugh if I saw him in front of me. Like he's adorable. Dean Withers is the most with the little inhaler shit. I'm not even trying to make fun of the guy. It would look so fucked up. It would. I can't. I'm glad he doesn't want to do it because. But I wasn't gonna be mean. I was just gonna laugh and all that. But he's got bigger fish to fry. Maybe who knows, right? But that would be great, right? And I was supposed to give you guys a bunch of stuff, but again, like my greatest rule in life that if I stray from this rule, all hell breaks loose and I go to prison is if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which really fucks over the audience because we're like, oh, we'll be gone for a couple months and give you guys some content. And every month, not every month, what am I saying? Every couple of months, seasons, every year for sure, shit ton more money, shit ton more dead hex. Look at me. Eden, look at me. Look at me like on some Joker shit. Like it's like a robbery and more money and more. And now I'm at that point where it's like I have fuck dipping lower. Like if there's a month I make less money, oh, that's when we can chill out. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like we can get off that train. But since that's never happening, I changed it to I don't. As long as next month it's let's say I don't make more money, I hit neutral, right? If that happens, then I'll come back for that. I think we should change it to that kind of rule, but it's really hard too because in a strange way, I know I'm overly confident that it's going to be great for 20 years, but in a strange way, you're never supposed to be making this much fucking bread and interrupt it for a side thing. Even if it, content doesn't feel like a side project, dude, technically it is. Like you live in your properties you pay for and all that stuff, right? You live in that stuff. You live in your financial world too. Like, don't mix that up and don't piss away the years you're doing great to try something new. And I genuinely think in 10 years, all of you guys are going to say the greatest advice I ever got from Zherka is that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're not supposed to be, because it's going to break a lot. It's going to break down on you a lot, right? I think people, the weakest kinds of souls get jumpy when things are going good. They go, well, I can do something. I can do a little more. I can do this. And it's like, or you could focus on millionaire incarnation shit. Don't focus on side projects and stupid shit because there will be time for that, right? Although coming out of my mouth, it does sound fucked up because I'm so good at the fucking content shit. I'm really good at the entertainment shit because it's just like my natural being. I don't have to try. Unless I'm on a schedule, then you kind of have to try. If you're on a schedule, streaming all that, then you kind of have to put effort into that. But I benefit the world a lot right now. But do I benefit my world? Yeah, I do. Because a good businessman, we'd never stop every single year. Tidal wave gets scared. It's like a different. It feels like the same life, but on paper, it's like none of you would. Well, you guys would let your ego take control, and you guys would do it. But none of you would just jump right back. That's why I'm so consistent with these spaces that I keep making. Because I'm like, it's still a slow drip, but it keeps me in the momentum. I'm talking. I'm on technically a microphone, and so I can easily transition to podcasting without getting sluggish, which happens, by the way, right? The strangest thing is even the stuff you're good at, you can like I remember my buddy, he's a taekwondo master when we were kids, and he couldn't do a proper kick. And I'm like, dude, you're like a third degree black belt. Like, that's a shit ton of time. How the fuck did you forget the kick? Like, do it on my camera video so I can have the footage and like, hit that thing. We're skipping school. And I'm like, do that. And he said, I haven't trained in a couple years, Zherka. Well, he's John, right? John, I haven't trained in a couple of years. I'm like, what? You just lost everything? Like, this fucking 17 years worth of training or whatever the fuck? And he's like, yeah. And then, you look into your life and you go, yeah, you do. You could have a mastery over something for 20 years. You could lose it in less than a year. So when we look at success, success just means momentum. When the momentum's gone, the rhythm's out. Rhythm means life. There's no life to it. And, when you start seeing reality like that, you're like, oh, being lazy is kind of the ugliest option in the world, right? Because you're not alive. There's no rhythm. Laziness is not even a choice. And I'm not saying like you burst out of your laziness right away and build a shadow and get angry. I'm saying you slowly get up and do what you're about to do in a slow way until you build up momentum, one thought at a time. Keep it really simple as like a bodhisattva, and you walk yourself into millions of dollars. And you go, what the hell? Oh, that walk turned very fast. It took a while, but now I'm like a giant. I'm making huge strides. Every step is like a fucking town, as a village, a city, whatever. I'm King Kong of this shit, right? And the craziest thing is the advice online you get are from your friends is always snap judgments and do this, do that, fix that. And that's just not how the soul moves, like as you're slowly changing, gradually your inner structure is changing from every thought, 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 feeling, deed, thought, feeling, deed, right? As you're changing like that, just like a morning process when you're waking up, you don't want to rush that. You start seeing your machine. And some of you guys can go a lot quicker, a lot faster. Like some of the most badass kind of incarnations is JW. As much as I don't like the guy because he's always just got some negativity from me or some of that, I don't know what that is. He reminds me of like Las Vegas. Like it's like he's playing too much poker. He lost his money. Those guys who are always down and they're negative. I don't know. He said he's from Vegas, so that's how I perceive him. I'm like, yo, I don't want that kind of shit around me. But when you look at someone like JW, he's right there. You can see the picture, right? He's extremely instinctively close to his physical body and will deeds, right? In the world, his deeds, his actions, very action based, which means he can, be overstimulated by that too, right? A lot of electricity, but that's like a machine incarnation. Like that guy could do pec deck and flies and push-ups for fucking 8 hours. And it's a lot of people are like, oh, it's the steroids. It's no, 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 no. Don't take away from his will. Don't take away from his thought forms, right? It's obvious that he's got huge problems elsewhere. But when we talk about the close to the physical body, instinctive work ethic, he crafted that himself, right? You have to see people like that. And so a lot of you guys are going to be looking around into the world and realizing what you don't have. But the most beautiful part of seeing the world through the Zherka lens is you do start seeing what you do have. Like a lot of these anxious types, thinking types, they're like, dude, I'm in the category of genius. I'm not a genius, but I'm in the category of genius. I'm like, yeah, you are. So what are you going to do with it? Are you going to put your head down and become a genius, or are you going to stay in the thinking realm and always have anxiety for the rest of your life until you die? And you carry it on. You carry it on. Thank God for the Lord that relieves you eventually, and strips it all off you. But that's a horrific thing. That's why people who tell me, I don't know about self mastery, Zherka, and I'm like, dude, you're the 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 alternative is anxiety, right? I'm talking about like a thinking type, right? You could see anxiety in a thinking type, in a feeling type, in a willing type. You could see it in also, and you should never see a human as just like a static type. But I'd love to get you guys to the truth with MMO kind of, like those MMO RPG kind of role playing games. They kind of like a childish mind. If you guys just see things, I'll put my stats on strength and dexterity and luck and whatever. I'll put it on thinking or feeling. Or when you guys start seeing it as a like child, we bring more life energy, right? Right. Spirit is connected to childish energy, which is connected to imagination. You're developing your thinking because you're older. You're away from imagination. That's why, as a child, You didn't perceive time. You just were in a state of play, in a state of infinity, closer to the spirit world, right? Children are closer to spirit, right? They just incarnated. And so like a lot of people tell me, well, explain infinity to me. And I go, well, it's when you're a kid. And people get really shocked. And they go, oh shit, when I was 8 years old, yeah, I could easily keep living like that and never, like, people say, wouldn't infinity get boring? Were you bored when you were 8 years old? You fucking monkey? And everyone freezes there and they go, whoa, what the fuck? So the more we go into that imaginative world, yeah, that is the God world. That's why God is so much more beautiful than you can imagine, because you're remembering like a fraction of your childhood, and it's piercing you with green golden leaf beauty, summertime, drinking orange juice with your family and friends, and at the picnic and the water slides or whatever the fuck on those vacations. And that is spirit realm, believe it or not. And I'm describing the soul, your feeling world, your soul world. Then there's spirit realm, a higher world, way higher. So when people don't realize how many heavens are actually in them, and you're going to go back up them, like the heaven that humans always talk about is actually there, is not technically heaven, right? It's the soul world. So everyone thinks that's heaven because it has everything. People get lost there for a very long time. Like people get, artists get lost, that is everything you're looking forward to. But it's not the highest heaven. There's a much higher one after that. And gradually you get to, however long it takes, you get to experience all layers through grace. Right now, do you deserve all layers? No, because you're a being that is almost like you're at like infinite levels of error. Besides your spirit seed, which is moral, right? Besides that thing in the middle of you, right? Your eye. So when people say like, "Yo, Zherka, you're like the cosmic white pill," I'm like, I'm not. Anytime you guys are calling me the cosmic white pill, you're pointing at a dude that is only ever talking about the Christ. And I'm not a religious guy at all, right? 0%. Because to be religious means you're sexually repressed and all this fucked up weird shit. Like, it doesn't mean what you think it means. Read Jung, right? You read Jung and you'll find out who Elijah Schaefer is. I gotta stop shitting on my homies, bro. Like, dude, I'm the worst friend. Like, if you get caught doing something really stupid and funny, it's like my buddies who are like, I know you're not a pedo, but I have to make pedo jokes because that shit happened to you. And I'm like, I would be insulted if you didn't, because the urge to make fun of Zherka for that has gotta be unbearable. Like, imagine going to the movie theaters with me and you don't want to crack one of those jokes. Like, imagine holding that in. You might explode, bro. You know? Coke Zero. By the way, Coke Zero is not just the greatest potion ever created. It is shaping your soul too. Everything you put in your body is shaping that too, guys. Be careful. But this has been my addiction I think I've been drinking 2 liter Coke Zero since 16 years old. 2 liters every single day, which is interesting because people are like, dude, you hate water, but you drink so much of that black shit. And I'm not recommending this, but it's the greatest thing ever made. However, a lot of you guys are going to be anxious and have anxiety for your whole lives. You're not going to know why. It's because Coke Zero actually has caffeine in it. So completely destroying your spiritual gains, your karmic gains, your everything you're trying to do in the world is with a jumpy heart, you're going to have trouble doing it. That's why when you buy Coke Zero, you have to buy that less aesthetic golden frame one that says zero caffeine. Because remember, you're already going to have caffeine in the morning and you're going to have things that stimulate you and you're gonna be doing all that stuff. You don't want to, like, a lot of guys spend 8 years drinking certain drinks that they don't know has caffeine in it. And they're like, I've been anxious. I've had so many students say my anxiety went away because I never have coffee when I'm supposed to. I have it 6 a.m. in the morning only, like Zherka told me. And I don't drink Coke Zero anymore because it had caffeine in it. Then I switched to the non-caffeine one and blah 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 blah. And all my anxiety went away and stuff. And I'm like, and they make better meal choices too because of that, the anxiety going away, right? Because sometimes you think the anxiety is hunger and it's not. And dude, you gotta be careful with your mommy and daddy aren't gonna tell you what to put. They probably fucked you up putting this shit in your body, right? Or there's really fucked up alcoholic type of incarnations like Tristan Tate, right? He's like known as like having all of his baby mama trouble with alcohol. And not that I should judge that. I've never been in, I've had alcohol phases and I was just never the alcohol guy. But that guy will slam like 8 Red Bulls, Tristan Tate, right? And yeah, he's a fucking idiot. Like you don't want to do that. That's not free. But all the damage you do to your temple, and this is rich coming from someone like me. This is just this got to be the most evil message I've ever broadcasted because I should I'm all about damaging the instrument. Like I think that's like my biggest regret is you know imagine you have the perfect God and you damage his instrument he gave you. You know that's insanity. Like when you think of you're drinking ethanol and alcohol on the weekends, and I think that the greatest rule ever to alcohol was only if you're getting laid. I think that is the most beautiful rule in the universe because that way she's less annoying and things flow easier. That's why when people say you have to be completely against alcohol, and I go, dude, if you're a true misogynist who can't stand women, and when I say that, I mean that's something I have to overcome because I cannot stand a woman talking. Even if I love them, I just cannot stand that pressure on my ear. And, there's Jungians in my chat will be like, it's because of this. And it's like, no, you look into history for thousands of years, men wrote about this. Conqueror types, Columbus types, high functioning types. Every successful man in the universe wrote about that they couldn't handle the pressure of a woman talking, even if it's far away, not to them, even just like some murmuring in the side, that the autism would flare, right? Because they're really sensing unconscious types of behavior from a more collective mind, like a female incarnation. And if you're individuating, you cannot stand herd behavior or like spa talk or hair salon talk. You can't stand that. And the Jungians are very wrong about this because they say, oh, it's because you hate women and this happened to you. And it's not because of that at all. It's because there's enough noise in the universe already. There's a lot of noise. It's hard to find a place to meditate. It's really hard if you're out and about, right? So there's a lot of noise in the universe and you're trying to tune that out. And then you live with a woman and you wonder, like, hey, I made $1 million, but I'm fat, ugly, out of shape, hate my life, depressed. And it's like, oh, you clearly live with a woman. And they go, whoa, what the fuck? Right? That's why kings and high functioning types, like strong incarnations, strong minded incarnations, they had their own rooms. They slept in other rooms. They didn't sleep in the same room. There's a queen's room and a king's lair, right? So you got to understand, why are the highly individuated incarnations like kings, the strong, really powerful types of humans? Why do they want that kind of peace and quiet? And why do women get so sad and mopey when men want to separate from that noise? Right? And it's not I'm not pushing a caveman message of just smash and never talk to her. But I'm saying you and your feather pen and you're getting to work and you're an intellectual type. Yeah, go smash and then get back to your work. And you're going to notice that the most masculine people on earth don't hang out with women. That's not a thing at all. That's like, and I know Zherka's like the counterbalance to whatever's going on in the world right now. So I have to be a lot more extreme with this. But I'm also approaching this from a historical standpoint. No man's ever done that. It's not a thing. You cannot find a history book that shows successful men. Remember, we don't, everything besides the top 1% of men should not even be something you look at as you're evolving. Like, why would you look at lower incarnations? Because whatever you look at, you start evolving in that direction, right? How many of you have made the most psychic evolution to the point where you consider Zherka a prophet, where you get scared at how much in a couple of months you've not learned, but You've absorbed my life energy. Listen to me. Like, how many of you have gotten scared at the levels of consciousness you're at listening to pure genius when it's not genius at all? You know what genius is? You can look into history and see what genius is. It's not genius. It's you're comparing it to noise. You just compare, oh, Zherka's podcast versus static and noise, spa talk, hair salon talk, sports talk. The Green Bay Packers won, whatever. That's noise. So don't ever confuse, oh, this is the genius guy. It's like, no, dude, it's just a human that's not within the static, the noise of whatever the fuck is going on in the world. And the way you should see noise is it's not, it's all real, but none of it is true. Many things can be real, but only one thing can be true, right? And that's how you have to see the world. That you should be seeing vibrations from your television. Like, wow, they're watching the sports ball again. Now, do I recommend any human watch sports? I think the only humans that earn the ability to watch their sport are people participating in that sport. So I think Max Holloway, I think Connor, I think Khabib are allowed to watch their sport and no one else. Right. And a lot of people are like, well, can I watch the sport just to learn stuff? And it's like, no successful person on earth ever studied a craft that they were not mastering. It's never happened once. If you go into Wikipedia, you will never see a George Washington incarnation today watching UFC or football, even if they want to learn it, because they say there's not enough time on earth for me to do all things. I'm going to focus on being the general George Washington. And so when you look at, I'm telling you right now, it's like for that flame you want to go for, right? For that flame you're going for, everything is a distraction, even to the point where your mom, your brother, your sister, your people you love are going to invite you to brunches and you have to say no because 90% of it is noise. And you could be putting that to mastery. And I'm telling you right now, you're only going to be comfortable putting all of your soul faculties to mastery. Okay, there's a shit. Like people are like, you're so cruel. You don't go to your brothers and cousins' baby showers. And I said in front of everyone, that's gay. I don't want to come. And remember, I'm like the family guy. I don't miss any family events. I cuck my career for it. I do all sorts of things for family. So I've already proven, like they all point their finger. They'll be like, that guy, he will leave Dubai and fly to me within the 6 hours on first class, the fastest ticket home if I need him for something. And I'm already really what I have like the greatest reputation as being the most generous in the family, and to the point where they think I'm like some kind of sage that I don't care about my money or anything. Like they can have all of it, whatever you need. Swipe they can even joke around and throw 40,000 from one account into this account, and I don't even notice. I don't care, none of it, right? And they do it to see like, oh, is this guy he actually gives a fuck about the 40,000? They'll fuck with me and stuff like that. And then like years pass and they go, dude, I still have $40,000 of Zherka's money. I have this much. I have this thing in these accounts. And he just never asks for it back. And then they'll give it back and be like, dude, you're actually who you say you are. And I'm like, dude, and it's not, don't ever think of it as like, oh, it's a rich nigga shit. Because the guys pulling for me are rich too. Like, you know what I mean? But for me, it's like the family is beyond that. Family is always beyond material and money. And also, I'm the youngest. So I value family. The youngest child from the whole family will always value it, family the hardest. Let's be real. Even though he's the most chaotic, right? He believes that it's a team thing, right? Even though, I hate the youngest child usually. And a lot of people don't realize that it's like thinking like me is so fucking necessary for the young man because you don't have, for example, 20 to 30 years old, you think, oh, well, then I'll just do 30 to 40 and on my mastery. And no, 20 to 30 is a different energy from 30 to 40. And 30 to 40 is different energy from, you get what I'm saying? So when you miss 20 to 30 on hard work, you don't get it back. That's it. It's over. Well, what's the white pill there? It's over. It's literally done for you. Yeah. That's it. Even if you pop off, you still always think, oh, I wasted 10 years. Right. And there's no way to waste years in the world. There's only one real way that can feel like a waste. Not even partying is technically a waste. You're having fun and building up, soul adventures and good archetypal images of who you are at that point, and understanding yourself more. But the main way to waste your life is just when you go, okay, if I could go back, I would have replaced all those 12 hours. I would do that one thing for mastery. Right. And remember, mastery is above your career, even though it helps your career, it's above it. It's something higher. Right. It's kind of like thinking eventually turns into spiritual cognition, but you go through thinking to go to the higher. And really in the world, like it's so interesting that schools actually teach the right stuff. Like if you look at elementary school, you get a planner, a calendar, wake up on time, get punctual. All that is actually really good for the human. And then everything you learn in high school, in my opinion, I would delete high school completely from the curriculum. Right. If anything, I would extend elementary school on what you learned there. Right. That could make people into geniuses before they're 17. Right. But the problem is that as they're maturing as teenagers, they crave different content. That's why high school looks like that, like this history class and stuff. And which is interesting. You're not even supposed to teach classes if a soul's not interested in it. You're like, a lot of you guys get into history way later in your life and learn everything. But in high school, you failed history. And you're like, what the fuck was that? Right. And it's like, it's interest. Right. And there's this thing about high schools that I'm not just being biased because I didn't have the greatest scholarly experience in high school. There's something about high school that they choose the boring courses on purpose. It's like something satanic there, right? Boring means satanic. There's something lowering consciousness in every high school on earth. I've always noticed when teachers have 5 courses to choose from, they choose the most boring one. And I guess it comes with the least work for them, right? It comes the most stability, something. I don't know what it is. And I didn't see that too much in grade school, right? But then grade school is also colored with way more spirit. Like you're very spiritual as a 10-year-old. You're not that spiritual as a 20-year-old. Like, that's just how it is, right? And that's why, when you're 10, the world has color. And when you're 20, it's all gray. It's all of it is gray. Right. And that graying is like this emptying, the emptying is a good thing. You're going to get filled back up little by little, or you could be a dense materialist and never get, some people say, how scary is it to be a materialist in today's day and age? Oh, you could be 55 years old and just have 55 years of a gray world. That uncles like that, people like that. Sometimes they're alcoholics. Sometimes they're really fucked up. Or have you noticed when they don't have drugs or alcohol, they're just deeply unconscious, like Pedro, the Mexican uncle you have. He just sits there all angry, doesn't know why he's angry, just unconscious his whole life. So that's why Jung said idealism is a form of addiction too, right? When you don't see a human that's addicted to alcohol or drugs, there's always that last thing. Is they're addicted to being unconscious when they're sober, which is like probably the most violent one. That's how you see a lot of people work at Home Depot for their whole lives because no soul can actually bear a meaningless life. So they have to go unconscious and in layers. I'm talking about in severe layers. That's why I say, like, when we count the unconscious billions on Earth, that's also a suicide incarnation. Even if they don't commit suicide, it's the same thing. If your flame goes out, it's the same thing. It is the same. You'll always have the spark, but if the flame is out, no, dude. Yeah, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what the hell did you come to Earth to do? And they pay their bills, and they pay the god of bills, right? Paying their bills. That's everyone's first god. That's every Christian's god, is paying their bills first and then being a Christian second, right? Like I always wondered, I'm like, you never donated money to like a homeless guy when you were broke. You had to wait to get money to do it. I was like, what the fuck? How are you a Christian? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't. And it's always the people who believe in themselves that give to the poor. And it's strange because I'm like, dude, I don't care how many times you lose $10 on the street to buy some nigga a sandwich. When has that ever like harmed your reality? It's like, you could buy 5,000 sandwiches, bro, a year, and it doesn't harm your reality because you were going to spend that money on something stupid anyway, right? If you calculate how much money humans waste on stupid shit, you're like, whoa, Imagine calculating in front of God too, how much money you threw on shit that you were unconscious, didn't even know you paid for it. Like, and then imagine you did that in front of God, or imagine you do it in front of your own soul and you go, damn, I could have fed a lot of people. That's why people shock me when they walk. I have friends who will walk by a homeless guy asking for food, and I'm like, bro, I don't have broke friends. How the fuck are you not buying this guy a sandwich? You're eating in front of him outside of the 7-Eleven, bro. You bought your little shish kebab or whatever. I make my mental note. I don't say anything, but I'll buy the homeless guy something, and I'll be like, "There's something wrong with the." Like I remember when people are like, "Why didn't you hang out with Heel Mike for like 2 months?" And it's because we bought a pizza for the homeless guy. Chat's like, "There's a homeless guy behind you. He's hungry." We're like, "Yeah, let's do it." And then his cameraman shoved the camera in the guy's face. I'm like, "Bro, chill out on that. Like, you don't want to film a homeless dude. It's just fucked up. That's you don't want to get those kind of clicks. No human should want to get that kind of click, right? Unless you talk to them for a while and they're chill with it and they know what you do for a living, which is like it's very rare. And anyways, I think Heel Mike as a joke said, opened the box of pizza. He's extended it. The homeless guy was about to go grab it in a slow way, and then Mike closed the box on his hand and said, "But you got to play a song first." And he picked up his guitar. He said, "Okay." And I was the first time in my life, within 4 seconds, I was going to strangle my back, beat him with a baseball bat, whatever the fuck was on the street. I've never had more of an urge to harm a human being. I was like, we all get drunk and do dumb things, but that is not human. That was really. And then people are like, dude, you didn't hang out with Mike for 2 months because he did that. And I freaked out. I said, bro, give him the fucking pizza. And yeah, I just remember, I'm like, bro, there's a rudeness to, and you look at Mike's life, like, dude, that guy was a tragedy, karmic tragedy. A lot of bad things happened to that guy, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, life gets tough for people who are not awake. Alcohol can really dim consciousness. Same with drugs, same with whatever. A lot of people are like, what if I choose drugs to keep me awake? And it's like, dude, that's like the worst thing you could do. Oh, well, they're keeping me awake, so I'm spiritually advanced. And it's like, dude, you're going to prison. And yeah, so I'm headed to Bahamas. I'm like, bro, I had a recovery phase, so I spent like what another like $20,000 on. I don't promote growth hormone for fitness or anything to look good or any of that. Like people are like, oh, is it for looks maxing? No, it's always been on my radar to heal faster, like Wolverine healing factory, because sometimes I can harm myself. Sometimes I can lose some nights of sleep, and traveling the world, fucking airplanes and shit. So I want to recover and. Not that I'm promoting it because you don't want to spend 60, 70,000 USD a year on this stuff like me. You don't ever want to be Mr. What do they call me in the comments? They say he's a slave to pharmaceuticals. And I'm like, why the fuck would you ever? I don't care if you have a good argument for putting that like lower shit, that Chinese shit in your body. I just wouldn't do it. There's something that's like some broke nigga shit. Like if you ever take medication that is like from China, that's some broke nigga shit. Like, what? How do you know Chinese people aren't fucking destroying how you're structuring yourself and stuff? And and yeah, for me, it's not for any of that looks max stuff. It's more for genius. Like, I'm not trying to be on Earth, even though this might extend how long I live on Earth. Some people say. I say it's the opposite. I don't care about living long. I care about living genius and strong. And so I supplement with this because I've got a lot to do. I like the energy levels. And obviously, this stuff's useless if you're not training and strengthening your thinking and your mind. Thinking with a capital T, by the way, right? Not lower thinking. The stuff we go over. And I'm telling you guys right now that like this recovery phase that I have with all the growth hormone and stuff is from, wash my nervous system and, get really good and healthy is for a purpose, is that now I can stop doing it and go straight to the Bahamas, right? And I think I'll be doing a month there. And I don't want to do content really. I don't want to waste. June's like a great month, and just like Brazil, just like Argentina, just like Colombia, just like Miami. It takes a couple of weeks for me to even post out a video because I like to really put my feet in the dirt, in the soil, in the sand, or whatever, and absorb the culture first and then have some fun, which is, I know that takes a long, I know people are like, dude, that's so expensive. Like, you can't just go somewhere for 3 days and film. And it's like, no, I got to be there for a couple of weeks and be one of the people in my head, right? I like doing things that way. I like doing it gradually and slow. I've, for as long as I've been on Earth, I've always been talking about the Bahamas, bro, and the Caribbean. Like, this is the place I want to die at. I want my corpse in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean Sea, or Barbados, if you guys could bury me there. Not that I'm going anywhere, but I'm saying this got to be a longer vacation. And by vacation, I mean I'm just a writer. I pull out my laptop, make millions of dollars, and hopefully find some hot chicks. If that doesn't happen, it just means more content for you guys, right? I have way more electricity, right? I'd go by the nature's rhythm. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. And it's interesting to me that like I have what 8 more years of traveling, and I have to make these trips long, like month-long trips, if I want to really be, using nature to stay inspired, right? There's an inner inspiration and an outer, right? And dude, this is from all the places I'm going to for the next 8 years of traveling. I'm a fucking nomad, um, which I'm getting ripped off first class, nigga. No, we're not doing first class. Fuck that shit. We're doing too much. No, we are. We are. It's a long flight. Yeah, for the next, however, let's say 8 years, right? For the next 8 years of travel, 100% the place I'm looking forward to the most is this week, man, is the Bahamas. I've watched a lot of movies on it, and I already know what star circuits have charged that place. I know exactly the kind of thought forms I'll be getting. Just like Barbados, it's going to be the strongest kind of thought forms for someone like me, right? It's like some of you guys will benefit way more in mountainous areas, right? I could see that in the wintertime too. Pick a nice cabin in the woods. I could see myself doing that too. But man, it's like June. I want to absorb sunlight, man. And I'm Mediterranean. I don't recommend all the sun if you're aging yourself because something no one admits about Italians. If you've been to Italy, is like that is the most beautiful and the most ugly kinds of human beings on earth at the same time. Like Italians are the most beautiful young incarnations, but the ugliest old incarnation when they get old. And it's all because they take way too much sun. If you've ever been to an Italian airport, you start seeing anyone over the age of 35, 40 has saggy, disgusting, red, burnt, oxidative stress skin. So a lot of people are like, bro, you're a spiritual channel, so I can just absorb sunlight all day. And it's like, I don't preach that at all. No, gradually go by the process and see if the sun is aging the fuck out of you. Because a lot of you guys who are like, just touch grass and the sun can't hurt me and I run shirtless and dude, I can do that. I'm Mediterranean. I'm olive. I can do that. You're not telling a ginger to do that. You're not telling Italians can do it too. But that all those memes about white people aging really badly that's the only insult on white people that I can think of that is actually true. You don't if you can't take sun, don't do it. Look at your uncles. If they took a lot of sun and they look like shit from it, look at them and start seeing reality alive. Like every organism is different, right? Like the black don't crack thing is very real. They have very different pigment. That's why, bro, black people just stay young. Is there anything more overpowered than that? That's amazing. Anyways, I take a lot of sun. I'm not afraid of the sun, but also it doesn't fuck me up like the next guy. And I don't think I'll be doing it 40 or 50 like a lot of guys, like these raisin types of incarnations. It's like That's the one thing I don't want you guys to confuse. A lot of people confuse my channel with some new age shit. You know those guys who say touch grass. I believe in grounding and earthing and all that, but those guys who say touch grass and stay in the sun 20 hours, they're lying to you. Different organisms cannot do that, right? Especially if you have a high content of metals in your skin, because of the stuff you eat and all that, the stuff you drink and all that. If you have a lot of metals in your skin, you are really fucking yourself up with truth. Sunlight is truth. And you're in a fallen state, so you can burn hard, you can get damaged by that truth easily. You're not ready to receive all that. So when people are like, "Oh, you promote sunscreen," I don't want your estrogen to go down with certain sunscreens, but there are. I'm sure you can find a fucking cream. Okay, if my brother found one for me, I just go Amazon, find yourself a cream so you don't get fucked up and burnt too hard. And why this lesson is so important is because you have to see your whole life as you're a different organism from the rest of the world. You know, I don't think many, Albanians are Mediterranean, but a lot of them should avoid the sun. I can take sun. A lot of Albanians cannot take the sun. They start looking like burnt Italians. And I'll go to the Italian airport if you want to see it. And so I'm like, bro, be strategic. There's some aging gracefully is not just for looking good. It's so you're thinking clean. That's like massively important. Like, have you ever noticed your thoughts are blurry and weak when you look ugly in the mirror and strong and focused when you look good in the mirror? Like, it's actually not wrong. That's why there's so many memes on the internet saying Ben Affleck looks rough as fuck right now. Right? Same with my party days getting just fucking blacked out. Zherka looks rough right now. It's like people are pointing that you're unhealthy, right? And that means unhealthy thoughts first, right? Takes a lot of unhealthy thoughts for you to start degenerating in the mirror. It takes a long time. Like, you'd be surprised how resilient the body is, but take care of yourself, man. It's like people who drink coffee at 6 p.m. I'm like, bro, you're about to enter the realm of spiritual sleep, anxious. I could have made you millions of dollars these last 10 years by just getting that coffee from 6 p.m. to morning time. That's all you had to do. And everyone goes, well, I'm not a morning person. I don't give a fuck. You're going to bed. You're literally going to bed, destroying everything you worked for. I don't care if you're not a morning person. You have to drink that coffee. You have to have it by your bedside as soon as you wake up, as soon as you're done. Excuse me, as soon as you're done waking up, don't disturb the waking up ritual you should have. Everyone should have there's no other ritual to the day if you think about it, right? Because most of your thinking, feeling, and willing are going to happen throughout the day. So the morning is the most important part, right? Even more important than the prayer. You don't want to have clouded prayers. You don't want to do none of that, right? For some of you, 1 week, I pray once a week, 52 times a year, whatever the fuck, you shamans. I'm telling you guys right now, man, keep hammering good advice in your skull. Keep hammering it until it's alive in you. Because there's this there's always something a broadcaster talks about, right? And till the day I die, I'm always going to talk about life before suffering and after suffering, which just means more suffering. But yeah, life before suffering is when you're a loser, right? Life after suffering, there's more suffering, but you're not a loser. So you don't call it suffering. You call it just the battlefield or something else, right? And so until the day I die, in every single call, whatever I do with my life, I'm always going to be talking about that one transformative phase in your life that happens. It only happens once. And a lot of people miss that gate. Very few are lucky enough. A lot of guys miss that gate, and at 55, they have a best selling book and make $100 million. I don't want that to happen to you guys because I'm here for laughs too and like more youthful shit than that. But a lot of you guys are gonna be 55 and be divinely inspired, right? That's gonna awaken for you. I don't like that at all because there's no sage in history that said you have to wait till 55 to be activated. That's like, no, there's a gift at 55 you should look forward to, and you should be really on fire until 55 years old. Like, you should be, lightning sparks all around you going hard. like on some Gohan shit, right? There's only success in life. That's it. There's success or what you're evolving into. There's either success or the screen is fucking loading. There's nothing else. And a lot of people are like, well, this is where you stray from all these sage characters because they don't preach the success part. Yeah, because they don't have 16-year-old students like me. Okay. Like, dude, a 16-year-old student doesn't want to be eating fucking. I had a guy eating sardines when I met him. I was like, dude, you are broke as fuck on the fucking conference call with me. So I'll sometimes do like a community outreach and help someone. And when he's eating sardines in front of me, I could smell the fish that disgust was opening from across the world on a fucking Discord call. And I just remember thinking, I'm like, dude, I'd rather eat from the fucking trash than eat fish. Like, what the fuck? How poor do you have to be to eat fish? It really bothered me. It's like, and he's doing good now. He's a young guy. He's doing good now. But I had to line, bro. This guy had to yell at him until he was crying and wanted to fucking harm himself like this. I hate weakness so much, dude. Yeah, if you have weakness for no reason, give me a reason why everything's going bad. And they don't have this. I don't care what happened to you. I genuinely don't give a fuck. I'm not your dad. Weakness has to be eradicated from you. Weakness has to be so far eradicated that even if God didn't show you grace, if God did nothing for you, you wouldn't have a grudge. You know, a lot of you guys have a grudge with it's not here yet. It's like, dude, when you want things to happen quick for you, what you're really saying is I'm more advanced than the shit I worked on up until now in this incarnation. It's like, dude, you're trying to take credit for things you haven't done. You don't want to live in a matrix where people can take credit for things they haven't done. Everything will be mundane and boring and gray. If humans could just take credit and steal and do all that, if humans could just fucking teleport and, some of them do that, and they're like the worst pieces of shit you meet on earth. But then you shake Tom Brady's hand, it's like, oh, there's an inner structure. When I shook his hand, he built something that's not in the football world. There's something inside of Tom Brady. Pause, no homo. There's something inside of him that is built and forged and is indestructible, like molten steel, like changing molten steel. He's still changing it, he's molding it. And you meet someone like that and you go, I like that the Matrix is hard work because I want more Tom Brady's out there helping us. I don't want more Andrew Tate scammer ass. I snapped my fingers and I changed my mind. I am no longer depressed. It's like, bro, shut the fuck up. You're going against reality when you talk like, right? Reality snaps back, by the way, puts Andrew Tate in prison. Reality is not to be mocked. People are like, well, Zherka, you approach the world like you're in play, like you're a child. Yeah, but I also take it very serious too. Just because I joke around all the time doesn't mean I don't take life extremely serious, right? There's a there's a seriousness to life that sometimes you'll scroll your feed and see Palestinian kids getting crushed by boulders, and that might be you in your next incarnation if you don't help them, right? Like mankind's responsible for each other, not just themselves. You understand that, right? So that's why a lot of humans have ugly ass faces. They crafted that all on their own. It's like enough ugly thoughts, man, and get that face beautiful. This is why we hate bitches who get surgery, like women who get all the cosmetic surgery. Why we don't like them is because you're not that. Your soul is not that. You're using doctors to look more spiritually advanced and pretty, but you're actually just, fake. You just fake change your whole fucking face with some kind of doctor and shit. People don't like that at all. Like they sense it's a disturbing It's disturbing reality. Well, Zerka, why are you for women getting lip fillers? Because women don't own lips. If I'm attracted to women and I have to kiss them, I don't want to see a woman without lips. It looks really fucking weird. Like if you go out in society, they evolve in the right ways. I'm not complaining. I think in 2026 they are pretty, but for some reason they cannot grow lips. Like in any, what the fuck? So when they balance that out with a little filler, I don't complain that much because I go, yeah, you're starting to look more like me. So except I'm genetically perfect and you're not. You have to cheat to keep up, and that just means your inner structure is ugly. If I stare at her too long, I start seeing through her and I go, it's not hot, right? But I'm not gonna lie that, like, dude, everyone wants to kiss themselves, their higher version of themselves, right? There's something wrong with you if you don't want to kiss someone who looks like you. I think there's something. If you kiss someone that doesn't look, it has none of your attributes. There's something mentally wrong about you, and it doesn't have to be physical. Like, so if you're a hardworking guy, you want your girlfriend to be hardworking because that's something that's like you find attractive in yourself, and it reflects like that. That's fine. I don't mind that at all, right? To me, that's kind of annoying though, right? Because I've always been a more magnetic incarnation where instead of working my ass off, I sit back and magnetize instead, and the world comes to me, which is very rare. I don't preach that you should go this way because a lot of people can lose their fucking jobs doing this, right? Like there are hard work incarnations that the more hard work they put in, the more they get out, right? There's all sorts of kinds of people. If you know what you're doing, you become magnetic in your area, you become a black belt in your field of winning, right? In your electromagnetic field, right? But again, I'm extremely reactive too. I can go to prison for it. That's why I benefit the most balancing all that chaos with sage energy, or else, and the or else is not, oh, I want to be wise. It's Zerka goes to prison if Zerka doesn't ground himself in wisdom. He goes to prison. I'm not talking about reading stuff. I'm talking about observing the world, not thinking in the world, not this kind of just observing the world and saying this. Like, for example, most people have to make that leap of faith to be successful many times. Zerka is very different where I know myself. So for me, it's not a leap of faith. It's don't jump. Don't Zerka, don't jump. They can jump. All of them can jump. They are born to jump. You are not, you are a jumper. So don't jump. Do not jump and you will be a millionaire. At this point, right now, do not jump. You've made enough headway. Do not get greedy. Do not jump. You will go to prison. Do not jump. And what does Zerka do? And fuck this jump. I get really close to the prison thing. Have you ever noticed that? Very close to it, right? The extreme cavalier energy, like the fucking, what's that guy on the horse? Very cowboy forward energy, right? Do not jump. You know your nature. Do not jump. Here it is. Here's the millionaire door, and here's the 50 million, but you get prison as well. Which one do you take? Do you go Pablo Escobar? And that's the hardest thing for someone who, an incarnation who loves thrills. That the hardest thing is to say, don't jump. Or like, don't change your inner structure by selling them a gambling program. Have you noticed gambling streamers are so ugly? Even when they're not ugly, there's something ugly about them. There's something, and you know better than that. So don't jump in that gambling gate. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know what? You have experienced enough heartbreak around women, and you've been let down by them when you were pure, so you can actually critique them. You can jump here. You can jump through the woman gate, even though you're going to regret this one too. But so when you know yourself, you know how to move, right? When you get good at jumping here, 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 success, success, success. Oh, here comes prison. Oh, there's way too much more. And that's the hardest part of life. Everyone talks about momentum. What happens with pushing the brakes, right? How many Frank Sinatra types either rehab or get heart attacks because they can't pump the brakes. And no human can, family, no human can pump the brakes for you. That's the whole point of evolving. You wouldn't want them to do that for you either. In the long scheme of things, you'd be fucked. So yeah, it's like when you know yourself, some people partially jump. They play it more safe, but it just makes sense for their life. You see them win a lot. Eventually, they're at $1 million, 1.5 million, whatever. Then there's jumpers. They keep jumping. 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, prison. And then those guys, honestly, are the biggest retards in the. I'm in that category of retard easily. Easily, I'm in that because those guys push off work, even though they're doing everything right. They push off the jump until the whole world calls them a pussy. And then to get back at the world, they don't just jump 10 feet forward, they do 1,000 feet. And the whole world goes, damn, he's got hops. That guy's crazy. And that's out of resentment. And resentment always turns into you going to prison. And then there's most souls on earth, just like average guys, and they only benefit from jumping because they don't usually jump. When you know how your mind works, dude, the hardest part of life is not the momentum part. I swear, building momentum for weeks and weeks at a time, even when you're lonely, it's constructive. It feels like Lego. It is fun, if you don't have a girl around distracting you and you're locked in. But nobody talks about like that hitting the brakes thing. That's why I like always try. When I study humans, I always look for the incarnations that are good at pumping the brakes, even though it's like that's the boring part of their life. That's like something I have to master, not for like making millions, but it's so I don't go to prison, right? Because I'm very like, don't get it wrong. People who say, "Oh, Zherka preaches exact thinking and complete truthfulness." Yeah, but Zherka's also a dreamy type. I get very dreamy easily, so I'm not always in truth. I'm very away from truth if I start smiling. If you see me out in public and I start smiling, you smile at me, I smile at you, and you're about to say what up to me, and if you see Zherka smiling, he's getting away from reality and going into fantasy land where he's like some rapper, rock star that gets all the bitches. And it's like a meme that becomes real, but it does nothing for Zherka if you think about it. Like all the best shit about Zherka is away from the meme, right? And the meme's really like a middle finger to, you know, I have problems with Mrs. Kerr and I got traumatized by like teachers when I was a kid that said I wouldn't amount to shit. So the bitches, the hoes, the rich lifestyle, the Jupiter aspect of my expansive life is really for those teachers because I know they see the shit. So all those teachers that I talk about, even when I'm not talking about them, I'm hurting their feelings. I know they're biking to work on a piece of shit bicycle, and I know that they are the materialists that want the 500 horsepower car, convertible or whatever. And I'm not the dense materialist. If I was, I'd get the fucking, what was that, 250K Ferrari that I wanted. But I'm smart. I play it long term. I'm not a materialistic kind of guy. I'm going to play everything smart. But it's just enough for that middle finger because I know the teachers that I used to talk to, they are materialists. So me smoking them when they're riding their little faggot bicycle on the road, people are like, Zherka, how this is like a vengeance thing. And it's like, dude, I will go down in hell for this. I'm telling you right now, when every human has something that erects their horns out of their head, all of my anger is with, you can see me talk about government. It's not just government, it's that fucking public educational school system that looking back, I could see it as it helped me too. Dude, I'm telling you right now, they told me some fucked up shit when I was a child. Just because I didn't want to do the work. They told me some fucked up shit. They told my parents some fucked up shit. And my parents would kind of laugh because they'd be like, because both sons they had were geniuses. And then there was me. And my parents would always say, it doesn't matter because he's going to be famous. Like he's just that guy. And even though I was very quiet, they just knew it's because the things kept working out for me in a spooky way. Like my parents would always say, like, "Hey, you're kind of extremely lucky." I don't like to say that out loud, but I don't believe in that kind of luck. I'm talking more karmic. But yeah, my parents were like never worried about that. But I was worried as a kid. I'm like, what the fuck are they telling me? Every teacher I ever had tried to tell me there's something fucked up and wrong with me. So don't be confused when I'm living outside of a Trump Tower and I'm close to being a billionaire. Don't be confused that I went into the business world instead of entertainment and I fucking shit on the gay. Don't ever be confused at where I end up because it's not for you guys. It's not even for my pockets. It's to get vengeance on their. These teachers aren't even around anymore. Like, where the fuck are they? They're ghosts in my head, but I swear they're the most valuable ghosts I have. And so when people say, oh, that's how you transmute anger, well, if I don't, I'll go to prison in another way. So, yeah. And most people who listen to my shit, they don't like their teachers either. So eventually this rearranges your inner structure. And, there's a lot of darkness that comes with this. Like when people say Zherka's evil, this is what they mean. Right? I don't throw vengeance out the window and suppress it. I use it. I use it in a violent way against myself too. And the last thing I want to let go in life is that, which is interesting because it's so easy to let go. It's like it's been decades since I was around that kind of atmosphere, right? But my inner child, oh, dude, he's with me. He does not like those teachers at all. And I always wondered why me. You grow up, you're like, well, actually, nowadays they fuck up every student. If you notice, nowadays they tell a lot of, and these guys are way more fucked up, let's be real, but nowadays they tell a bunch of kids that they're fucked up. And that's not traumatizing because you're telling 8 kids at the same classroom. That's not traumatizing at all because they can talk to each other. But when you're telling one kid in 4,000 students he's fucked up, and you compare and things leak about counselors and shit and you just one kid in the whole school, dude, you are isolating that child. You know what I mean? And so when people say like the business side of you is so dark, it's so calculative, it's so good, good. Because let me tell you this, man, it strengthens my thinking. The most beautiful thing about business incarnations is they're strengthening their thinking. It requires a lot of thinking to be a strong businessman. Did you know that? And high risks too. So when you look at that, that benefits there. If they're not developing their feeling life, they are really going to become Andrew Tate quick, which you guys are going to see on the other side. That Andrew Tate's like he's very low on his spiritual development. And dude, that's the golden nugget. Like a lot of you guys think, oh, this is just mumbo jumbo until you're on the other side and you go, oh, damn, these guys are so much more advanced than me. You ever been in the gym and seen a dude with like an 8 pack? You're like, yo, he's more advanced than me. That feeling times infinity for the souls that are more advanced. Like you don't know spiritual envy when you see it. You think you're going to be above envy. You're not. You're going to you're going to make envious thought forms for your next lifetime. Like it's not good. That's why be careful with the materialists like Andrew Tate, where they look evolved because they got the world in a chokehold. But throughout thousands of years, what's been written about in every single culture is like the least evolved are those bald fucking overthinking types that are rich, right? Remember, he did it through some kind of porn cam site. It wasn't even psychology. It wasn't like dating psychology. It was like some cam modeling and shit like that. And I'm like, dude, we don't have time for those kind of thought forms. That's why you're bald, my nigga. You know? You know how much fucking evil and drugs I had to do to my body to even to start receding, lose hair? Like, give me a break. I had life forces in my bloodstream, bro. And so but yeah, that's the one thing where it's like vengeance is so useful, man. Now, notice how the vengeance isn't directed to a person. That would be very different. And it's not directed inward either for me. It's spatial. You can kind of see the ghosts in my head. So if you direct the vengeance inward, you start entering severe mental illness and depression. That's what it is, self-aggression. If you project it outward, you can really harm someone else, meaning you harmed yourself. And the worst part is you harmed someone else. That's not free, right? Even if there was no blowback, why would you harm someone else? Like, what the fuck did they do to you? Oh, I had to shoot the lightning out of my heart, bro. It's like, dude, come on. Like, wake up, bro. And a lot of you guys don't realize there's like this sweet spot of vengeance and success and being a good person. Dude, this is a hard middle. This is the hardest middle you can be at. It's the hardest middle because you're always going to sway to one side or the other. Like a lot of you guys don't realize I'm a piece of shit human being. If you're around me, sometimes I just say in sense like, "What's wrong with your face?" And it hurts someone's feelings, and I don't notice I hurt their feelings, right? I don't mean to, but you guys don't realize like unconsciously I can accidentally be the worst person on earth. Because when I'm conscious and trying, I'm actively trying to hurt someone's feelings, they're usually laughing. But unconsciously, when I forget, I can really say shit that's like really fucked up. And that, all of that, you're gonna see it eventually. It's an ugly thing. That is you. You're gonna look into the cosmos you have built. At the end of it, you're gonna hear the voice. That is you, and it's the most terrifying image if you're ugly, if you're Andrew Tate, like on that other side. It's why humans are afraid of death, is that's the first thing they're gonna see. The guardian of the threshold. And when you see what you've done with your inside, your inner face, your inner world, dude, there's nothing. Humans are not afraid of death. They're afraid of that day. That's why I preach moral progression every fucking chance I get. Because humans, they're like penguins. They can wobble, bro. They wobble between kill someone and love someone. This is a wobble, wobble, wobble. Have you noticed that? Or from sense, the mind swings to nonsense. For an hour, you're thinking about making millions, you're doing great, you're seeing it on the screen, and then it swings to Pokemon distraction, stupid shit, and you got to be in the middle of that. Then that's people say life is tricky. No, dude, in Egyptian temple science, life was exact and precise. These motherfucking guys did it thousands of years before you. And dude, they told them to sit on sand with no computers, nothing. You have interesting stuff you can develop your thinking through. You know, like some people develop serious concentration with video games. This is the first time I'm saying this because it's the most dangerous advice I could give because it's still useful. It's like that doesn't go away. If you break a world record building concentration with a video game, that concentration doesn't go away when you stop playing the game. Like you've structured yourself correctly. It's like, it's like a sword. Have you ever seen those? Was it rock band playing kind of incarnations and Guitar Hero guys? But why I've never said it on a call is I would never encourage you to develop mastery over thinking with things that don't pay you. Because you need money to travel the world and keep the adventure going. You don't want to be in your room playing rock band or Guitar Hero. That's not, that's there's living energy you got to consume, right? Nature is real. That's why you're not allowed to go 7 days in a row without nature. Human beings should never do that, right? So now imagine not traveling and you incarnated in the time of airplanes. Super dangerous, right? That's really bad for you. And these tickets are like $500 for you guys. Like I used to think I didn't look at my bills, but I'm like, traveling's not that expensive, right? It's like a couple $1,000 tickets, but you spend a couple thousand on the gayest shit you do downtown anyway. Like you ever go to one brunch and then some drinks with some homies, talk to some girls, and then you go, oh, well, in 2 days, I think I spent $500 USD. That's a lot of money, bro. That's what the fuck did you do? And they didn't even blow you, bro. That's the worst part of it. It's like you could have a bunch of fun all week and then no one gave you head. It's like, dude, you're not on earth to not get head. What the fuck are you doing? What are you doing that you spent $1,000 and you got a bunch of laughs and then nothing happened that is worth $500? I don't think those fucking shrimps, crackers, and all that shit you bought at the restaurant, I don't think that's worth $500, bro. I think getting the head is way more worth it. And you start calculating life like this, bro, you're an idiot. You are a fucking idiot that you think life can be just going out for beers and I spent 100 here, 100 here. It's been months. No one gave you head. Like, how much did you spend? Let's calculate that. You spent $17,000 in 1 year. Let's say you broke, nigga. And no one gave you head that year. And you're like, what? Then look at your buddies' ugly ass faces. They're responsible. They kept you drifting and distracted. You know what I mean? I can't stand that. I can't. And you're developing an addiction on the other end. It's like you're fapping and you're doing all this like degenerate shit. It's like it is not smart to think like an average Joe. Go to a bar tonight and just stare at people, and you can see how much they're spending getting zero play in the world. And play is the only thing that's going to calm you down so you can strengthen your thought forms and go to the next level. You know, like life is about strengthening thought forms for 7 days in a row and then having what we call a spiritual massage, some release, right? That's that's the butter. I always give the example of Jeffrey Epstein. It's like minus what he did, he is a beautiful incarnation because not only was there a play aspect to his life, if you think about it in a weird way, like obviously not with what they accuse him of and all that, but or what they caught him with. Excuse me. Why am I defending this guy? But I've always liked Jeffrey as a good example of a successful person because have you noticed the play aspect of his life never damaged his concentration? He was still highest level, whatever you want to call him, Mossad agent, or you could tell that he still had 8, 12 hours of concentration in his study and being number one in his field, which is really hard to do when you got hoes around, right? So to me, that's you want to do that, but legally. You know what I mean? That's a good way to go about it, right? And obviously, in your 20s, you're gonna have years alone. That happens too. But I'm also talking about like don't let don't ever go through your finances in a way where you're not evolving. You know, like at the end of the year, you're gonna look at end of the year. I look at I'll spend like $70,000 on some stupid shit. But if that evolved me, then it's so I don't even want the money back. Even if you offered it, I was like, no, it's even more powerful if I don't get it back. You know what I mean? And that's the way I see things. Why? Dude, if every day you're not talking to your buddies, talking to yourself, talking to whoever, even the mailman, if you're not talking about unfolding, then what the hell are you doing on Earth? You know what I mean? Are you crystallizing? Are you joining the moon? Or are you becoming the sun? Well, you need both, actually. You can't have just one way or the other. You got to be the sun and the moon in perfect conjunction and marriage, which is the spirit and the soul, the masculine and the feminine, the thinking and the imagination, right? You got to be in the middle of all that. Now, is the stuff that I preach just energy to keep you going? No, it's an exact science. Do I want you guys to beat my development? Yes. You know how beautiful it is when some dude makes like $4 million and then they take me out for dinner and go, it's because of you. It's like, not only do you owe me money, I could take royalties right now. Not only do you owe me money, but first jack up my ego and it puts me back in more concentration. I get another hour of concentration when things like that happen, right? Because for most of my life, it's always been successful people around me that just dig what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck if I click with what you're saying. I don't care about that. I care about the guys who are like, this is who I was. This is the transformative aspect. And Zherka, I think from all of your curriculum, I like this part the best. I think this can help the most people. And I go, I've always liked that part too. And then I cut down my course, refine it again, and say, right here, focus right here. Obviously, I don't want to be OCD. I am OCD where I want to refine and delete until it's like the perfect package, but there's no such thing as perfect. Let's not do that. But let's not refine because I always refine to too small. Have you ever noticed that? I always refine till it's too small. And it's like, dude, let's not do that, right? Let's keep it expansive, right? Let's keep it big for whoever's buying. And so, yeah, just to explain the business side of things is like it is hard to get a kid from grade school who hates the business world. It's hard to get that Zherka guy into it. But if it makes these teachers cry, obviously not in person, I'm like in my head, they're crying. Oh, it's great. It's great. And there's no pain. There's no pain in my side. Eventually, I got to forgive these teachers, though. Right? It's like after the $10 million, which is very easily done in 10 years, like extremely easy. Because the way my business is formatted is it's very, extremely mature, meaning every year adds to the value. But if I stuck to entertainment, you couldn't get every year paid like that. You got ups and downs, and you get banned, and shit happens, and you got to put all your eggs in this basket, and stupid shit, right? But that was hard. That was a maturing process too. That's like feels good, strong soul continuity. I know that it's worth it in the long run. It secures everyone around me, even strangers, even people who benefit just a bit. They benefit a lot off me. I like being that this sun in the room. But I'm telling you right now, man, why the fuck would I let go of that anger? Right? Like those teachers got me very far, clearly. It's like they hand chose me out of the whole school. I do thank them. What am I saying? I thank them right now. Okay. I would still throw some of them. I'm not gonna lie. Like pure anger, dude. Like they hurt my feelings, man. And I got no one to tell it to. People are like, yeah, just get over it. Like, fuck you. I don't want to get over it. Okay. Actually, feels good. I like this kind of anger. That's my mission of anger. Hella inspirational talk. You guys don't know what I'm posting this week. In Bahamas is going to be intense. In I always say I'll stay a month, probably a little longer, but then I probably do all the Virgin Islands too and keep this going. I have my strongest thought forms in this kind of rhythm. I've noticed that. Winter, I like to be more mountainous, so I'll give you guys some of that. And slowly I'll bleed in the content because the genius has to be going. It takes a long time to keep the genius flame going because you can always keep the content going and then you're just an idiot who makes content, or you can keep the genius flame going and then when you start making content, oh, you're not people are tuning in. They're like, it's transformative. You can either go the sneaker route or this route. This route is so much slower if you think about, you know but it's so much healthier for me because there's something about getting banned a lot that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. You're like, I am for entertainment, but you guys don't enjoy my free speech. Like, why don't you guys enjoy my free speech? It's beautiful. Well, I don't think I even enjoy speech that's not free. I don't, it's like, you're boring me, man. You are really boring. That's probably like the biggest insult on earth is to be boring. Right? If someone calls you boring, this just means like you're eating, pissing, and shitting, and that's all you're doing. You know, a master walks in the room. Nobody's bored when a master walks in there. You're a professional piano player. You're a professional thinker. You're a professional philosopher. You're whatever you are. And this is the baby masteries. True mastery is like 55, 60 years old. Let's be real. But the baby steps of the mastery with the self-remembering, this is like the next 10 years is the butter of life. Let's be real. Right? I do miss the chaos. I'm not going to lie. 20s, if you don't enjoy all the depression of the 20s, I found a way to enjoy it. Right? Even in memory, I found a way. You can always find a way. Like I remember buying like a little Thai food or something. There's like, I don't like Thai food that much. I don't like Asian food that much, but it was good. These guys were cooking up. These guys were. And I remember always buying this. What was it? It was like was it orange chicken or honey garlic chicken? Or I don't know. It's just like chink food, bro. But they made it, that recipe was good and it's gone now. So I'm glad I got it every day. And it was like $13 when I was poor. I was a poor security guard. And every time I bought that, I was like, my day is perfect. The Lord is with me. And so for years being depressed, I always look forward to like that one meal with my joint. I used to like weed, which bro, man, it's summertime. I'm so far ahead of my own schedule. We have to smoke up in the Bahamas. Like we have to do that. We have to drift in thoughts a bit. We have to get a little, what I call it, there's nothing more feminine than drifting in thoughts. Like smoking weed is like the most feminine thing you can do. But I'm way too heavy on one side. Like I'm really ahead of, I think I'm like, I think I'm like 10 years ahead of what I'm supposed to be posting. You know, I wasn't supposed to post all this, but, and by the way, getting ahead of your schedule is the only way to live in life, right? Even if it slows down on getting bitches and all that stuff you have fun with, dude, delete all that. Get ahead of your schedule so you can even enjoy fun time with hoes. Like you're not enjoying fun time with hoes if you're like a week behind and shit. But if you're months in front or years in front, that's like only masters are ahead of their own schedule, right? Only masters do more. Only masters say, "Oh, I found 4 more hours to do this one thing." Yeah, have you ever like been on your day off? You go, actually, I'm gonna say, yeah, it's my day off, but I'm gonna do 4 more hours of reading and notes, and then I'm gonna sell the notes. And when I sell the notes, I'm teaching the notes, and teaching is a form of learning. So I'm actually refining the process in myself. And I'm looking at my student to see if they're getting it. Because if they don't understand what I'm saying, I'm scamming them. If they don't understand what I'm saying, I'm scamming them. And it's like proof that I don't understand it myself, which is even scarier. It's like, damn, I gotta go back to read it. Right. And I'm telling you guys right now, man, use the sun. There's a lot of coded information in the sun. Some of my best meditations are in the sun, where I'm like, could you think of a Zherka type trying to be patient? I can't do it. I can't. But when it starts happening, I found my center. And then you don't feel it. It feels like you're empty for hours. You walk back upstairs, elevator, high rise, open the door, sit down, start yapping. Doesn't sound that good. Keep talking, and oh, my thinking is more alive. Focus, focus, look at the pencil, focus. You're going to talk on a spaces, and then it's everyone's, every cell in your body is vibrating with Zerkoff energy. All of you listening is like, I'm so alive because he made me alive. I'm so alive because he made me alive. I'm so alive because he's making me more alive. The more he talks, it's an upward motion. It could get dreamy too, We could, hey, should we go do some Molly? Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's getting too far. Let's stick to the basics. Let's ground ourselves a bit. We're too high up now. Through the breath. It's always through the breath. And I start sipping my espresso. And the thinking becomes more alive. And obviously, it's cheating when you're using the caffeine. Let's be real. But I don't want you guys to not use the caffeine because I want you guys to be millionaires, right? And there's nothing more beautiful than being a millionaire. Because when you're a millionaire, you can grab a wad of cash and slap a woman in the face and say, I don't give a fuck, bitch. That's a money slap. And do they look at you like, did you just money slap me? And you're just printing out more and more money. Obviously, it's like not exciting to a lot of you guys the way it is to me because I failed all my classes and my teachers are telling me I'm fucked up and mentally he's not checking in and he's not conscious and I was like I was dissociating at that age. I was like, I don't want to do school. I don't want to be here. My incarnation is for everything opposite of what you're teaching me. You know, I was really traumatized. I didn't even know it until like maybe yesterday I found out. Right? Yesterday I was talking to one of those those voodoo bitches with good pussy that are like they go to the shamans and shit. I'm always around these types of hippies, right? I'm a yoga instructor. I'm always, and they inspire me because I'm like, look at this delusional bitch. That's who I would be if I was a woman. I would be a delusional whore yoga instructor. That's where I would go. I'd go instead of bodybuilding, I would go into the yoga. I'd be one of those hoes, right? There's one of those fucking yoga bitches who magnetized 20 million followers. She's not even that hot. She's like on YouTube algorithm. And bro, I'm like, dude, nobody knows how strong that bitch's thought forms are. You know, those bitches, they eat the yogurt and frappes and they talk like they're spiritual, but they like Trump now. It's like, makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like those esoteric bitches that are like, well, there's a cosmic alignment and I love the zodiac, but I also put on the red hat. And dude, some of those bitches have strong ass thought forms. Right? Hitting that could be dangerous if you get attached, but hitting that will strengthen your thought forms too. Or get with someone who's not confident. All your thought forms go to trash. Well, it's not as dangerous for men as it is for women because it seems like men are more solidified in that and women are more collective. But I'm telling you guys right now, man, know yourself, dude. What is Zherka's favorite color? Blue. Why? Freedom. Oh, yeah, I would have guessed that too for him. How do you know so much about me? Because I know so much about me. Some of you guys don't know your own favorite color. I had one guy say green to me, and I'm like, "You're Army, aren't you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm a Marine." I was like, "So you're the dumbest, you're not Army, you're the dumbest nigga in the universe. That's what you are." But I can read people just by you tell me your fucking favorite color, and I know exactly what kind of fucking impulse is running through you. Like guys who say pink. Have you ever had that guy in your classroom in college and high school, and one of them says, "Well, I wear a pink shirt. This is my favorite color." That guy's always, which I don't even. I have no problem against gay people, but it's straight gay people that I hate. But they never done anything gay. It's just everything's gay about them. Those are my most hate. I can't stand those kinds of people. Like those guys who just share a woman, but they're straight. But they're fucking dude. You're just two guys, one chick. Oh, but we're straight, bro. We Eiffel Tower, and it's like, dude, you don't want me as emperor, bro. It has to be two. They're literally that. They're the constellations. They're the stars, bro. He's so beautiful. It can't be two dudes, bro. That's just too much beastly energy. What do you mean two dudes? It's got to be two chicks. Why is it never two? And then you Google it, and two chicks is so fucking rare, bro. You know how hard it is to get two hot ones, let alone two fucking mids. That's hard for the average guy, and so no wonder they're doing. No, bro, there's something wrong with these people. In a strange way, dude. It's rare for an orgy to be great, but like, dude, I recommend it. Oh yeah, and I'm so late to it. I've like said no to so many just because I'm like I don't really trust these people, and so you're actually too hot to even trust. Like you look better than me. I don't trust you at all. Like if your face looks better than mine, I don't trust you at all. What the fuck? How did you get that far? There's no way you did what I did. You're doing something else. You know, I don't trust super good looking people. Only good looking people. Hell no. I don't trust even Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't trust him. Justin Bieber. I don't trust him. Hell, that's too much. Like, dude, why are you looking so feminine, Biebs? Right? I mean, the definition of good looking is to look masculine and feminine at the same time. You know how hard you know how balanced you have to be to do that? That's really hard. Same with women. If you look at the best looking women, they look masculine and feminine at the same time. So the masculine aspects is they're a little bony. Have you ever noticed they're more bony like a man? And they have more tone, muscle tone like a man. And they have a more upright posture like a man, more confident like a man, but soft features, right? And then you're like, it's like the perfect same with cars. You look at the most beautiful cars in the world, they're feminine, masculine at the same time. Like if a Ferrari pulls up to you, all the lines are feminine, but the spirit is really doggy style rape. Like it is, you know what I mean? And even the lines are not feminine from certain angles. They're very hardcore and very metallic. And so, and in motion, You don't see just like you have an etheric female body inside of you if you're a man. If you're a woman, you have a male kind of soul. We all have both, right? Right? We're evolving into having both male and female parts of ourselves, the reflective and the spirit. And I'm telling you, the solar and the lunar, right? And I'm telling you guys right now, go look at a Ferrari, any Ferrari. The F8, Tribute, beautiful. SF90, it is pretty. It's very pretty. I'm not a hater. I'm not complaining. Go look at old one, a 458. It's gorgeous, right? They all have that feminine, masculine fusion look that Lamborghinis don't have. That's why when a Lamborghini pulls up, you're not mystified. You're just like, whoa, money, power, beauty, but it's not mystical. And then when a Ferrari pulls up, you go, what is that? Just like when you see the most beautiful woman on earth, you never say, whoa, she's beautiful right away. When you see pretty women, you go, oh, she's beautiful. But when you see the most beautiful woman on earth, you never can tell she's pretty. You go, what is that? And then you look closer, you go, yeah, she's nice, but is she nice? Let me look closer. I can't decide. You're confused. That's why people say, I knew the first moment I saw her. I'm like, that's a bad sign. It should be the second moment, the second, not the first second, the second when you've collected yourself, right? And it's just like the Ferrari thing. It's like, guys, you want to be in the middle of yourself. As much as you want to imagine and get dreamy, feminine, you want to work and be masculine too. Stay in the middle of yourself. Doesn't matter who you are. Know how you work too. Like some people gather energy and they do more damage in the world by standing still. Unfortunately, that's me. I do way more in life when I have to restrain myself, which is the worst thing. I can't even say it without getting agitated. You know, it's the worst feeling on earth. Every time you restrain yourself, you're transforming inwardly, your subtle energy body, and you want that alchemical transformation, even if it takes 20 times a day. You want that. It's like being lifted by the lightning, the Super Saiyan aura. But man, you also just want to move. Like there's so much motivation to go, dude. It's the Bahamas, man. And I'm not a traveler like you guys. Like I'm a nomad, right? My best friends want to come. I say, no, 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 no. I'll meet you guys there and you guys have to come later, but it has to be alone first. Like weird shit happens to me when I'm alone, right? If I go with anyone I love, it's not as fun. If I go with people I hate, it's even worse, right? And I hate the people I love if I travel with them. I'm like, dude, you know, I want to be in tune with the waves, where the waves say it's time to go to bed. It's time to take a day nap. I never get to take day naps. Napping's the gayest shit you can do on earth. But I'm sure in the Bahamas, you should read a book on the beach. You collect yourself. This is the hard part, by the way. I'd rather be out in the wilderness doing masculine shit. No, I have to train to collect myself, be like JW and start writing in notebooks. And I'm good at the writing part. I like the writing a lot. And it's the best part of the world. I'm not a seafood person. I don't like people who eat seafood. There's something really disgusting, like bottom feeder shit. Like, dude, you're eating crawfish, and like, that's just disgusting. Like, people who eat seafood are, and it's always the people I love the most around me. It's like everyone I'm magnetically attracted to will always say, I'm ordering fish. It's like, why? Why the fuck? Why you of all people? Why? So everyone I've ever been around orders fish. And I just, in my head, I'm thinking like, dude, I don't want to do this, but you are eating bottom feeder nigga shit, bro. Bottom feeder shit. Like fish eat shit in the ocean, man. You know? That's crazy. And I don't want fish thought forms. Like ancient Egyptians would say, you want to think like a fish? Eat the fish. And they would eat some of the fish, but would they? Some of them who wanted strength would eat crocodile. Okay, that's a little different. If my bitch eats crocodile, I'm smashing. I'm hitting that tonight. I want to have the scales or whatever that I want, whatever is digesting in her stars, in her metabolism. I want that cosmic exchange of crocodile. I want the crocodile eyes. I want all that power. But I don't want the, what the fuck am I gonna do with like blah blah blah, like a fish? What the fuck? It's like people are like, well, Zerka, don't you eat steak? I never eat steak. I order bison. If I'm gonna digest astral, emotional, cut up animals and take on their spirit, I'm gonna go for the one that has the horns, the bison. I'm not gonna go for a fucking cow. That what it represents the digestive force in nature. That's what a cow is, right? It's like a lot of guys who attack me for eating eagle every time I go to third world countries. I don't give a fuck. I don't care how much you can. You are telling PETA why every time you're in a world country, you go to the butcher and try and find a golden eagle or it's already dead, bro. I'm not. It's not me buying an eagle and I'm supporting the. Don't do that shit. It's already dead. They killed it because they're primitive niggas. I had to travel for this. So how could you eat a bald eagle? And it was dead when I saw it in the shop, bro. I would never encourage someone to kill the most beautiful animal, the freedom impulse animal. I would never, but because I see fucking 50 of them and they're not really selling like everything else, they're expensive and no one's really buying, they're looking for cheaper things. Yeah, I'm gonna be that dude who digest. I'm not eating chicken like you fucking bitch. I'm never eating that fucking chicken like you. What the fuck? What the? I worked my ass off, traveled the world, and I'm gonna eat chicken in a third world? I don't want chicken's thought forms. You eat chicken. You think like a fucking chicken. But I feel guilty. That's why I'm angry. Never want to support a business that I don't want to support, but I do want the powers of the eagle digesting in my stars. So when I smash a bitch, dude, I'm soaring in my thinking. That's what a bird represents, by the way. It's your thoughts flying high enough to spirit. That's why your brain actually looks like a bird and your chin is the beak. You are a part of the animal system, just like the mineral, plant, and all the other systems. You're a part, you are the universe condensed. Yeah, that's why you have a chin. You know, a chin that they grab when they're smashing you, they grab your chin. That's what you have the chin for, it's a beak, bird brain. That's why you also have an octopus. Have you ever grabbed with your tongue something? You're eating sushi with the, yeah, your tongue is the arm of the octopus. It's all of the animals in nature are within you. You can just look around and see. And I know a lot of this scares some of you, but my teachings shouldn't scare you because I'm telling you right now, the zerkaofficial.com millionaire. And it's just fucking getting easier. What's getting harder is concentrating. Imagine the Caribbean has no bitches, bro. That's oh my god. Because I don't do my research when I travel. I just seen it in the movies, and I don't. I just show up. I don't book anything. They always give me a hard time at the airports because they go, "How do you have no hotel book, no nothing?" And I'm like, "I'm a nomad. I live out of a fucking bag." And they're like, "No, you're not a nomad. You lived in hotels for this long, so that means if we calculate, you're spending 140,000 a year on just hotels without the food or the travel. So who the fuck are you?" 4 hours in the airport, and I'm like, "Nigga, I'm rich." I'm rich, nigga. And you can't say it because they'll hold you there longer if you flex on them. Don't ever flex on TSA or no, the police officers, not TSA, but they're more chill than the fucking police, bro. The police don't like that answer of I'm a businessman. I don't need to. No, even a millionaire businessman knows which hotel he's gonna stay at. I'm like, I don't know until I land and I check it out for myself. I want to see it in person. No, you should know. You should because there's discount prices. I don't give a fuck about discount prices. And they get so angry, because humans, when they travel, they go, what if I buy this one because it's in 20% off? So why would you ever buy something 20% off? If I have the option to buy something if I have the option to buy a trip that's 20% off or regular, instinctively my hand, and my brothers hate me for this, my hand always goes to regular. If they say Bro, you can save 50% here if you just click this check mark that you've read the letter. I don't click the check mark. I pay 50% more, even if it's like $7,000 extra. I don't give a fuck. I will never choose the broker option because that's like, and you know, even Kevin O'Leary, they hate people like me. They hate. They're like, well, you're a spender. You're no. I don't. I strengthen my thought forms. I don't think from scarcity like a fucking bitch. And I don't even recommend this for some of you broke guys. But I've never found deals. I don't. If I find deals, I pick the most expensive option every time, just so I'm satisfied. And a lot of people are like, "Yo, this is retarded." No, what's retarded is you always. How much of your life are you gonna waste looking for a fucking deal? You know, I think that's the most beautiful thing about traveling with a woman. She can do that fucking save you money shit. But a man trying to save every fucking penny is, dude, go build your fucking empire, man. You that it's like when people say, "What do you mean you don't cook food?" It's like, dude, how if you're cooking food takes hours? What are you talking about? You can make $10,000 in 2 hours. You got a phone on your hand. What that's doesn't even. Well, you Uber Eats 4 times a day. So what? You know how much money America spends to be number one? America spends money on Somalis. They give millions and hundreds of millions of dollars to Somalis who scam them, and America doesn't care because it's just thinking of the next thing, the next thing. Okay, when you're a machine, you're just consuming. Even if, dude, it's like my buddies. They're like, dude, you spent so much on bottle service for us and all that. I'm like, I don't care because I'm a machine. A machine has to keep going, has to keep spending. A machine never stops. Actually, when a machine gets cheap and starts looking around and slowing down, that's usually when the machine breaks. Have you ever noticed that? You know, that's when the machine breaks. Now, obviously, I don't want anyone to copy me because I have other people who do my accounting and finances and stuff like that. So if I did it myself, I would be literally, I would destroy my life. Let's be real. But I'm never going to spend 1 minute, 2 minutes of my life on thinking about what I'm doing in the Bahamas. I'm 7 star in the Bahamas. And if there's no O's, I'm going to be, I always get happy that I get to do more work for a couple of weeks, no distractions. But also, it's like, dude, who lives there? I don't know anything. Is there black people? Is there? And if I Google it, if I open your guys' DMs, it ruins the trip for me. Well, it doesn't ruin the trip, but I'm saying that I'm really dramatic. You know, I remember the greatest movie I ever saw in my life was not even the best movie I've ever seen. If this makes sense, trust me. The greatest movie I've ever seen in my life was not the best movie ever made, but for me, it was in my inner world, my soul world, because this was the first time my buddies woke me up. And I was streaming a while on Twitch and I was sleeping like 12 hours and I was tired. And they woke me up around 7 p.m. They never do that. And I woke up and I had slept enough, I guess. I wasn't grumpy. I was like, what's up, guys? And I look at my buddies and I'm like, get dressed, bro, get dressed. Or come like that. Just come in your sweatpants. Just and they pulled me to the theater and sat me down. They didn't say anything. Everyone's just rushing. Everyone's like, you know, and my buddies bully me, right? Because they know if they pull Zherka quick, I get very distracted, right? I can easily group soul. I can go, oh, where are we going? You know, it's an adventure. You know, I'm like a retard. You can easily convince me, Zherka, we're going to the water park. It's 20 minutes away. And I go, okay. And then you drive for 2 hours and I'm like, yo, where's the water park? And they go, yo, Zherka, tell us a story. You know, I can easily be distracted because like I'm open to love in the universe. Right? You could easily take advantage of me too, right? I'm like that's why I relate to these hoes, bro. The ones that I take advantage of. But anyways, they took me to the theater. It wasn't that far away, and they sat me down and they gave me all the popcorn and stuff like that. And they're so my buddies are so sweet. They'll buy weed just for me, even though a lot of them, those ones especially, don't smoke. But they'll get all that stuff ready because they're like, oh, this guy, we never get to see him. He's always working. So it was fucking awesome. It was like I felt good with all the snacks, but they didn't tell me which movie we're in because they were, you know, everyone's talking and shit. And so all 8 of us sit down and I'm in the middle and I'm cozy and, you know, oh, wow, you guys make me feel special. And dude, it was World War Z. And nobody told me. I was way too playful. I'm so jolly that I wasn't ready for that. And the first scene is a zombie scene with beautiful Brad Pitt's face. And I shit my pants scared. I've never been scared in the theater, But you know what caught me off guard? And since I didn't watch the trailer, I didn't know what the movie's about. I never understood the spoilers thing until that day. And I'm like, if you watch, people say spoilers, I don't want to ruin the movie. Technically, if you watch a trailer of a movie, if you know who the writers are and who the director is, just the 1 minute trailer ruins the whole experience. I had no idea until 27 years old this happens. But bro, if you watch a trailer for a movie, it actually ruins the whole movie. And all of you are like, no, I've watched trailers and then it blew me away. Dude, very few humans get to experience this, right? Because very few humans get as easily distracted as I do with the homies and shit. Bro, if you don't know anything, you haven't seen one trailer, you don't even know Brad Pitt's alive, you haven't watched anything in years, and they put you in the theater, you are shocked at how good the movie is. Like I was completely absorbed. I had nothing to expect. I didn't even know what the fuck the movie's about. I didn't know if it was about zombies. I didn't know where Brad Pitt's gonna take it. And I left. I'm like, the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life is World War Z. And a lot of people laughed at me when I said this. And then I realized, oh, because they think I'm comparing it to other movies. Obviously, there's better movies, but because of the surprise factor, dude, have you ever been surprised with some lingerie hoe? It's the greatest cosmic experience you could have. And then when you're kind of looking forward to it is a little different thing when you kind of know about it. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say. And same for traveling. You go to the Bahamas, you should not be watching videos of where to go and what to do until you're there. And like for me, bro, if I ever just want to stand up, wear a trench coat and nut in public, for me, culture shock makes me nut more than anything. More than anything, is culture shock is the greatest feeling in the universe. And people love to say, well, you're cheating. It's true culture shock if you go there when you're poor, because you have to stay in a hostel or some shit. No, fuck that. It's the same shit, bro. Get the fuck out of here. Don't fucking ruin it for me. Like, Zerga, you could have fun in a hostel. And it's like, no, I cannot. That's just too much noise. How would you get anything done? Why would you smash any of them? Like they're lower class, poor human beings. Poor human beings, even if they're hot, they're not. It's like they don't. At least when they have a bit more money, they're in the gym all the time and they're working on themselves and all that, right? But if they're, dude, you're going to hostels and shit. I would dominate. I would be the funniest guy in the hostel easily. But I could just imagine it would turn into let's just get drugs, bro. There's too much distractions. Let's get drugs. That's what it would turn into. And at least the way I travel is like millions of fucking dollars, and I'm on my deen. I'm on my mission. I should never say that Muslim slang again. Like this ego infected me with that. And I'm never going to Muslim countries. Like, people are like, "Well, you're traveling the world, but you're going to skip every Muslim nation." Yeah, I am. And if I was an atheist, I would skip it. I easily will skip that. Right? If I go the rest of my life never going to an Arab country, that is nothing bad happened to me. I swear to God, I don't give. And I'm a traveler. I'm an explorer type. This is what I do. But it's just way too much room for error. Like I can just imagine the worst shit happening there. Usually I go there and I turn out, oh, it's awesome. Everyone's so sweet. I feel guilty for making fun of them. Yeah, no, I'd rather not have that. I think Sneaker ruined that for me big time. Right. And so I have Japan 1 month this year, month Bahamas. Dude, I gotta go soon. I am rambling, but I'm telling you right now, man, thezerkaofficial.com. Wait till you see. We're gonna get into obviously the technical stuff. And stop calling me a genius, man. I know. I already know. I've known for a long time. Even when it wasn't activated, I knew. Dude, I always knew. I knew the moment I looked at your face. Anyone listening, the moment I look at your guys' faces, I just know you're beneath me. Like I can see your thought forms. You're about to drift right now. Pathetic. Josie, JW, my loves. My loves. Uh Not that I promote any of these people, but I consider them. Josie, what do I consider you? Like what kind of, I guess, a Twitter friend?
Yeah,
Yeah, and do you trust Twitter friends? I don't know if I trust Josie. I don't know anything about her. I've never met her in person, but I like to pretend. I like to pretend you and JW are people I can trust. Like that's fun.
Well, it depends what, but yeah, I would say so. But I will also say never trust somebody who tells you trust me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in my experience, anyone who comes up and says "trust me, bro," the reason you should listen to them is because they're about to give you the most fun experience of your life. Even though you shouldn't trust them, they're cooking something good. Like those "trust me, bro" type. Like a lot of drug dealers say "trust me, bro," and you know what I mean.
I mean, it's all about networking. You know, like they say, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. It's not really who you know, it's who trusts you. And I support having the type of culture where if your reputation is legit, you should be able to promote yourself and the type of things you're capable of. And then your criticisms of others should be more substantiable as well. From the
Do you
from the
travel?
community,
Do you travel, JW?
only to see my daughter.
What is it with Americans that don't travel? Don't you work from your phone?
Bro, I'm fulfilled by developing the mystery of learning more. This is what
Oh,
Socrates was
it's the
talking
gym
about. The
thing.
more
No,
you,
it's
it is the
dude,
gym thing
dude, it's
too.
the
It
gym
is. I
thing.
love my
Yes.
routine. I'm autistic in that
Yeah,
sense where it's hard for me to be fully engaged with things that aren't relevant to my goals.
I've,
So,
I've
like
I've always
leaving,
wondered,
traveling,
bro. I've always wondered what is that thing where you could be the most focused guy on earth. If it's not your gym, it's not a good workout. You know what I
no,
mean?
I'm good in any gym. Because working out is all about technique and taking it to the limit.
Would you say
You
strength?
talk a lot about mastery, and
Yeah.
it's the same.
Would
Mastery
you
is
say
an
would you say
asymptotic
strength?
system. You understand
JW,
what
would
an
you say
asymptote is? Go
JW?
ahead.
Would you say strength is actually a skill?
Strength is beyond a skill, it's a virtue. It's something that's
Beautiful,
eternal, that's immutable, that we should
beautiful.
abstract from correctly. All
I
men
agree.
should have a strong man, or in this particular instance, strong men who they could mirror themselves after. Big brother types, uncle types, mentor types.
And now,
Strength
if
is a
homie to
virtue
homie,
because think about what strength is, or
yeah.
courage for that matter, the virtue of courage. It's facing fear in the service of something higher, which is the form of the good, which allows
Which
for all things to flourish. It's all
and
about flourishment.
it means you're eternal. It means you're eternal when you are courageous.
Exactly. Anyone that's divine, partaking in the eternal, is actually a saint on earth. This is what we need to be able to do culturally is differentiate between the Cain and Abels. There's way too many motherfucking Abels running around, not enough, way too many Cains, not enough Abels, which means wholehearted commitment. Commitment
That
is what allows for love to stay alive. Love diminishes when we reduce it into a category, when the mystery dies. This is what I'm talking about. I have so much mystery in my life because it really you could look at it from the Maslow hierarchy of needs model of self-actualization, but then even further, transcendence. When you're constantly transcending, there's new shit to learn, there's more refinement, there's
Now
more
hold on,
capacity.
JW, hold on. What happens to the people who say, and dude, they're making a good point. There's a billion people on earth that don't want to say it out loud, but they're saying to you, well, JW, all you do is talk about transcendence and going to the
Mhm.
next level. When the fuck does it end? And the answer is, it doesn't end,
It
bitch.
doesn't end because listen, in this day and age and in social media dynamics, we're all focused on horizontal movement.